If you want to make
the best keto pizza in the world.
Stay tuned.
Somebody's leaking.
Wait, that's just my Instant Pot. I cooked cauliflower.
For the Keto Pizza Crust. Of course.
You want to cook your cauliflower on high pressure for 6 minutes and then carefully fast vent the pressure. You're going to set that aside to cool. We'll get back to that later. What makes pizza taste awesome?
The pizza sauce. The awesome sauce, of course.
Awesome sauce.
To make your own awesome sauce, you're going to need some ingredients. You'll start with 1 can of 15-ounce tomato sauce, 2 cans 8-ounce tomato paste. Try to get organic, but if you can't, just make sure it doesn't have any sugar added. Here's your dry ingredients. Half a teaspoon of thyme, half a teaspoon basil leaves, half a teaspoon oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon paprika, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, half a teaspoon rubbed sage, half a teaspoon red pepper, which is optional, half a teaspoon parsley flakes, half a teaspoon onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon turmeric, that's also optional, or get you some Italian seasoning if you want to cheat, and salt to taste. Try to get the ancient seabed salt, the pink salt. Yes, that says honey. 1 teaspoon of honey. It's optional. But if you think about it, every pizza sauce that you buy at the store or at a restaurant has added sugar. They add sugar to everything. So if you want to enhance the flavor of this sauce, put a little honey in it, about a teaspoon, something like that. You're going to have to play around with this recipe to get it to taste how you want it to taste. This is just like a starting point. And you want to stir, stir, stir. And back to the cauliflower. I used my Instant Pot, cooked on meat stew setting, the more setting, for 6 minutes. And when it was done, I used a rag and I fast vented it. I did not burn myself. After you can open it safely, the little safety thing will stop you from opening it if there's too much pressure. So then you open it, set it aside to cool. After it has cooled down, guess what? You want to mash it up like
Potatoes.
Don't you miss potatoes?
I do. Aww. Don't they look good? Oh my goodness. It should be completely cooled down so as not to melt
The mozzarella cheese.
Then you want to take half of it and put it in the freezer. Store it in the freezer for next time because 1 head of cauliflower makes a lot. I know some people, the way they make it, and even when I first made it, it tasted way too much like cauliflower. So I used less cauliflower and more mozzarella
Cheese.
Now what you want to do is add your mozzarella.
Cheese.
What I do is I'll add it until the cauliflower is dry and the mozzarella is moist. Does that make sense?
No.
I just add it till the texture is not sticky and it's kind of almost doughy like. And then you're going to add 1 egg or 2 eggs. If you want it kind of fluffier, you're going to add 2 eggs. I probably put about 3 to 4 cups of mozzarella cheese in there. I mean, you just really have to play around with it. But, you want to be able to make a pizza crust. So here we go. You want to get you some parchment paper. It is your best friend. You're going to put it on the parchment paper. Room temperature is best at this point. Not cold and not too warm because it's going to be sticky kind of. And what I do is I put a piece of parchment paper on the top and I get my roller out and I use that to smooth it out to make it flat, make it about 1/4 of an inch thick. You don't have to have a roller. You can do it by hand or use your silicone spatula. All right. We're going to bake it at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. Got it. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. Golden brown. All right. Get your pepperoni. I put mine on a paper towel. Any pepperoni. Just make sure there's not added sugar. All right, what I do is I lay them out, and then I nuke them, and then I get the grease off the top.
I dab it with another paper towel.
And the reason I do that is to make it less
greasy.
Not because of the fat and oils in it. I just don't want it to be
Greasy.
And that may sound weird, but I'm kind of weird. So where it's time to add the awesome sauce.
Awesome sauce.
So put it on there pretty good. You know how thick you want it. I like a lot of sauce, so I add pretty good amount. And it's time to add
The mozzarella cheese.
Now, naturally, you can put as much mozzarella cheese as you want right here. I like a lot.
Extra cheese, please.
Now you can add your pepperoni. All right, now bake it at 350 degrees till the cheese is melted, or it turns a little brown, golden brown, however you want to do it. And store the rest of your sauce in the fridge or in the freezer if you're not going to use it for a while. But I'm going to make another pizza tomorrow night. And we need to talk about what you see here. This is the cheese and cauliflower after it's been put in the fridge. It gets hard. You're going to have to let it get to room temperature before you start to make it into a pizza crust or burrito or taco shell. I find it's better to just go ahead and bake them all at one time. If you're making that first crust, just go ahead and bake all the other things that you're going to make, the crusts or the burritos, the tortillas. So this pizza was really good. I hope yours came out great. This is the one from the next night. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry. Where'd that come from? That was not me.
That's my thing.
I'm kind of weird.